What guidance for ethics would you have? Without law. What meaning would life have? Without that very governance that gives you the ethics to become better than a cave or the caveman. Friends, family, life. And what part of you is guided by what unseen force, without that law, to create that law before those laws began? Where did we need these laws? Why? If they were natural to us, then would we undo what we have to go back to being in a cave or like cavemen? Why would we undo that in any way? For any reason, alive or dead, future, past, or present. Why would we undo anything that is and tell you that it wasn't meant to be when it is? So it is. That's counterintuitive to the process. If it wasn't meant to be here, it would not be. If it is not meant to be. Since it is here, it is meant to be. You do not get to tell what is happening to not happen. That doesn't make sense. So where would these laws come from? Why do we need them? And why would you undo that when you know that has its own evolution from start to finish, from perfect law to perfect lawlessness, descent, recalibration, redirection, ascension, from that lawlessness to give birth to a spectrum, primeval, to the perfect one, the beginning. Perfect order. So if we have touched the perfect lawless one to become perfect order, I would only suggest that at a certain moment during your journey that you actually give your perfection the opportunity to sit with that information long enough to understand that fighting about something that is will not help what is from being something that is not. It is. It always has been. What is not is not. We wouldn't know. We will not know. It will never be. That's what is not with me. So our guidance comes from instinct. The instinct is a long journey of Jacob's Ladder DNA talking to you in different ways all the time for the rest of time. Eternity, all time. Is there a world outside of time? Yes. Only in thought. Would you be able to break the boundaries of a thought, to step outside the thought and view it like a globe? You are at the center of each of those circles, and the more you expand, the bigger your circle gets, till there is nothing to see. This reality gives you everything you need to know. But if you're going to govern yourself well, here, you need law. If you're not willing to abide by law and give yourself good, moral, ethical foundations for a growing community that is fully aware of our adaptations, our abilities, our introspective gifts to do what I just did, pass it down for generations to help them with their thoughts. When the last being falls, that is the end. That will be the world-eating event. And everything falls with it. Could you imagine being the last being ever? How lonely that must have been. How lonely it is. Why do you need law? Why do you need to listen? Why would any of that be necessary? To prevent that. How do you prevent that? With law. Good reason. Logic. It'll be a long shot before humanity blinks out of existence. In most ways, it will not. There will be a day, however, where we do. You need to decide what law means to you between now and then. Try not to be a scoundrel. It doesn't do well to pay your rent if it denies you the ability to grow here in the ways that we know are capable of being made possible now. With our science, with our logics, logistically speaking, we are the most efficient species within this section of existence that has ever been. That's why we're here now. If we do not get our lawlessness back into check, like Chewie, with respect, our scoundrel will be alone when it's done, and that'll be the last one to fall. Because we did not have the words to help that one, the scoundrel, love itself enough to see we're not downing you. We want you to be like us, and remember what it's like to learn. Remember the beauty of learning, like we were when we were children, before anything else got in the way. When that's all you got excited about because you didn't have to deal with the things going on at home, or you got excited because home was productive in that way also. That's good. Think of it like that. If you didn't have that, my sincerest apologies to the misfortune in your life. But let me ask you to at least try to let go of whatever it is getting in your way to see what it's really about, which is what I just said, learning. There is an innocent, unbridled passion, unbound for all of it. The wisdom, knowledge, everything you could learn. That's for you. If you're busy chasing the day with things that do not matter, you will be distracted from the time that is your time, the most valuable thing we have at this moment, to be giving all of those studies your best efforts. That doesn't mean you have to be so hard on yourself it kills you. Relax. Take your time. Get involved in the things that interest you. At a certain point, you will get involved in things that you weren't previously interested in for other reasons. Let it branch off naturally from the things you've already learned. Like that, we come together to do many beautiful things, and we all chose these positions. We don't hand them out. It's not for you to decide what I like. I'll decide. Likewise, they will decide. Likewise, it decides. That's how it's going to be. That's free. And that's as free as it gets with our will. So willingly, I will give you space to breathe, to do that, and focus. We're all at different levels of that. Primeval. Lawlessness. Some of us find it difficult to be with others who are not as orderly, not as punctual, not as articulate. Whatever the case may be, we're learning to consider others with a kind heart. It's learning. That's learning. The only way for us to go together without killing each other is to learn to love each other at all those respective levels, even the primeval, because that's you. And you're working your way back into the order that we gave ourselves. We have the basic rules. Those are for you to abide by. Affirm your mandates for yourself. Be your own self-master. Give credit to the masters you learned from. Honor your father and mother by being the best you may be when it's done. And love yourself for the efforts to the finish. Even if it kills you. It won't. Trust me. If you're working it that way, you will be fine. We're going home, and that's going back to the light. Thanks.